Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte is one of the world's most powerful people according to Forbes magazine. Duterte is ranked number 70 among the 11 new names on the list. Others include Russian President Vladimir Putin at number 1, US President-elect Donald Trump at number 2, German Chancellor Angela Merkel at number 3, Chinese President Xi Jinping at number 4, and Pope Francis at number 5. Forbes magazine says Duterte has a, quote, tendency to say what he thinks, no matter how raw, a trait that keeps him in the headlines. Forbes also cites his election to the Philippine presidency, quote, on the strength of a campaign that promised the swift execution of drug users and other criminals, and his ongoing bloody war on drugs that already resulted in thousands of deaths. It mentions his moves to realign the Philippines with China away from the United States. New imagery shows China installed significant defensive weapons on artificial islands it developed in the South China Sea. The latest images, released by the Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative, show a series of hexagonal structures on the 7 islets. Beijing denies it militarized the contested islands, but the new satellite images show the installation of military equipment like large anti-aircraft guns and close-in weapon systems and longer runways. The Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled last July that there was no legal basis to China's claims that it owns nearly all of the South China Sea. United States intelligence officials say Russian President Vladimir Putin was personally involved in a hacking operation during the American election campaign. NBC News quotes 2 senior intelligence officials saying Putin personally instructed how material hacked from U.S. Democrats was leaked and used. The Washington Post earlier reported a CIA evaluation that Russia hacked the emails of U.S. persons and institutions to sway the election in favor of Republican Donald Trump. Putin supposedly never forgave former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton for publicly questioning the integrity of Russian parliamentary elections in 2011.
President Rodrigo Duterte rejects allegations that killings linked to his war on drugs are state-sponsored. Duterte also denies ordering the police or the military to carry out summary executions.
Ayaw kong pumatay, nasasaktan ako ng pumatay ng Pilipino. Ayaw ko. Pareho tayo. Do you think I enjoy I do not allow extrajudicial. We do not do that. It's a dirty job. At saka, para kang hindi lalaki. Talian mo, balutin mo. It's a form of torture, binabalot ng plastic. Hindi trabaho ng pulis yan, pati sundalo.
Duterte says his marching orders are for cops to shoot only if suspects resist arrest or fight back. He adds he cannot lose momentum in the fight against drugs despite criticism being thrown at him. More than 5,800 deaths have been linked to the Duterte administration's anti-drug campaign since July 1. Of this, around 2,000 have been killed in police operations, while the rest are victims of extrajudicial or vigilante-style killings. Commission on Higher Education, or CHED Executive Director Julito Vitriolo asks President Rodrigo Duterte to designate his newly appointed Commissioner Prospero de Vera officer in charge, in place of incumbent Chairperson Patricia Licuanan. Licuanan continues her work as CHED Chairperson even after she was told to stop attending all cabinet meetings of the Duterte administration. Rappler obtained a copy of a letter written by Vitriolo addressed to the President. Vitriolo asks Duterte to intervene to stabilize the situation in the commission. He adds Licuanan can no longer be effective because of her failure to tender her courtesy resignation, which is tantamount to gross insubordination. While he did not name De Vera in his letter, Vitriolo asks the President to designate the newly appointed commissioner to act as officer in charge in the interim, pending the appointment of a regular chairperson. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump questions whether the United States should continue its One China policy, threatening to overthrow decades of U.S.-China diplomacy. This comes after Trump took a call from Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen early December. China considers Taiwan a rogue province, but Trump defends his conversation with Tsai, saying, quote, I don't want China dictating to me. Decades of U.S. diplomatic tradition recognizes Beijing as the sole representative of China, an understanding that has been a cornerstone of the relationship between the countries since Richard Nixon went to China in 1972.
Nasa pangangalaga na ng National Bureau of Investigation o NBI ang self-confessed drug lord na si Kerwin Espinosa. Pasado alas 10 kagabi nang mailipat si Kerwin mula sa Philippine National Police o PNP Anti-Illegal Drugs Group patungo sa NBI. Ayon kay Kerwin, mas panatag na siya ngayong siya ay nasa ilalim na ng Witness Protection Program ng NBI.